Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is our first play session of Hearts of Yokai, which is a PbtA game inspired by Changing the Lost and Die and Isekai and all those stories of people being taken away and coming back changed in this world. And we are set in Mobile, Alabama, in the year of our Lord, at this moment, 1998. Well, so our characters, if they have a cell phone, it's a big brick. And most people don't have cell phones, though some do. Internet just starting to be, more than dial up constantly. MMOs are out there, that kind of thing. So a real sea change in how things are happening. We are working with a layered set of safety tools, as we do with all sessions that are played here on Open Hearth, which is an online gaming community. You can find out more about it at openhearthgaming.com. So we are, of course, using Xcard. We have a romance matrix. We are using our open door policy, and then we have a set of lines, avails, and ask first. Just to remind, we have one hard line, and that's on the PCs doing torture. And then we have veils on dental horror, eye injuries, harm to animals, sexual content, and suicide. And we ask first for anything involving sexual content as well. I'll kind of check in on that. So what I'd like to have us do is reintroduce our characters. We'll talk a little bit later about the whole goals and things like that. We may come back around to that. I sent out a document for that, thinking about, concrete goals for our characters, short and long term, goals that are testable, that we know when it's concluded, goals that are interesting to play out, and that if we don't succeed at them, have some consequences. So those are the things that we are thinking about. We'll kind of build our campaign a little bit on that. We have 4 courts. We have the Court of Broken Shackles, which is the Court of Wrath. It is the Court of Anger, braggadocious, paranoid, and musical. We have the Court of Mirrors. This is our court of fear and dread, historians, bargainers, riddlers. We have the Court of Lanterns, which is a court of sadness, lament, grief, and ritualists. They're forgiving. They're also into paradoxes, and they are paradoxical themselves. And the Court of Suns, which is the court of joy, of exaltation, unrestrained, playful, and vengeful. All of those things together. So with that in mind, I'm going to go across the character keeper. A second chair this time is Marrow. Have people introduce themselves, give us a brief elevator pitch on who their character is, what they're about, and mention what court they're with. Also mention your pronouns so we get those cemented in. So Marrow is Tyler, right?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm going to have to start with you then, sir.
All right. I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Marrow, also with he, him pronouns. But Marrow is a part of the Court of Lanterns, so of sorrow. And he is an unmade. A remnant is his subkit. He was captured away in 1982 when he was quite young and meant to fill a taker's pleasure gardens with the sound of happy children and laughter. But he was never exactly a happy child and soon began to be traded around like currency throughout these takers, each one removing a bit of him, trying to get closer to what they thought was the perfect thing for them. until sans skin, sans muscle, sans bones, he remained only marrow, and was stuck in the black box, an empty place of people trying to find anything in it, meaning, physical object, even companionship, and yet as you wander by, you can never really connect. Until finally Marrow found order in the endless box and was able to slide through a crack back into the world. Um, he his appearance for the mortals is kind of your classic pretty goth boy, black hair, very thin, but there's something unreal and unnatural about like his stance. He's very still. Looking at him, you almost seem like you're looking at a photo. There's never that quite natural movement to him. He sort of appears rather than moves from spot to spot when you're, not looking at him. And then his changeling appearance is just the translucent memory of what his skin was outside and the red of his marrow beneath shining through. I've got a couple of cool things. I can summon stuff from the other side, both creatures and items. I think that's probably neat.
Excellent. Awesome. I think that gives us a strong sense of who you are. Next is our Aldo Underwood.
Yeah. So, although he, him, but not always that. Grew up on a farm not that far from Mobile, and was taken when the forest that he was hiking in, there was a fire. He was trapped. Was either stay and potentially die in the fire or go with this strange being that appeared. Um, he was taken to the scar feather hunting ground where he was transformed into a coyote because the coyote was the other thing alive that this being saw there and took some inspiration from it. After many years there, he escaped, uh, along with another human turned animal into something like dragon is, a slightly more impressive word than she didn't breathe fire, but
Hmm.
dragon is the appropriate word. Yes. Named Ali Dojas. And has been sort of just bumming around Mobile ever since. He can turn into a coyote. In his human form, he just looks like very ordinary. In his coyote form, he just looks like a very ordinary coyote. There's no he doesn't turn into the wolf man, in between thing. Uh, he definitely knows people in Mobile from his former life. They would not recognize him because they would remember him as like a 20-year-old woman. And also, they assume he died in a fire. So there's that.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. And then we come to Mr. Suit.
Yes, I'm Patrick Keeham, playing Mr. Suit, Reese Rivers, although I don't know how many people know that as his true name, he, him as well. He's a member of the Court of Mirrors, the Court of Dread, and is the beloved kind, pseudo face or visage de guerre, just because I was looking up like fake names sort of things and found out that nom de guerre actually means like name of war, literally. And so this was like his war face, the Taker's war face sort of idea. I don't know, whatever. I get far too into names.
It,
Um, Disappeared from I went with a boat in a hurricane, 1969. I don't know particular details about it. I don't think he remembers many details about it aside from flashes of storm and chaos. He was taken to the Abyssal Masquerade by the Duke of Lures, refined and possibly huge creature of tentacles reaching from the depths, who had a whole closet menagerie full of people that he'd taken and hollowed out and would wear for different parties or events or meetings or occasions. He would wear them around to grand masquerade balls in the, what do we call the other side? I'm sorry.
The undertow?
The undertow. Okay. Grand sort of masquerade balls in the undertow, over the top surreal sort of things, but also as Mr. Suit has found out, wandering around the real world, a lot out in the real world too, where he had strange and mysterious and twisted and Machiavellian dealings with all sorts of people, varied and important, mortal and not, across the world, that he often doesn't realize until he's partway into a conversation with someone who knows him much better than he knows them. He existed sort of in this menagerie closet darkness, and anytime he was being worn and out in the world, he doesn't have any memories of what his body did, what was done while he was being worn. So I know we'd talked about the move duplications last time, but I looked in the actual like Google Doc documents and found that follow the thread moves, and I think found the text that it was meant to be. And as much as I love the summoning, and I think I'll probably take it as an out of class thing in the future of like summoning things into him to wear his skin and do strange stuff. But right now it leans well into the I know things about people out in the world that I don't know why I know them. I know and see connections that maybe I've forgotten from the past, or, you know, my powers are reaching out and finding. So I think it fits in well with that.
I like it. I like it very much.
Yep.
Awesome. Sherry.
So I am playing Lily Smythe Soot. She is from the Court of Suns, the pettiest of all courts. And she is a constructed, she is soot cast. Essentially, she has very little memory of what it was that she did. She just remembers being recast over and over again. Sometimes she has the sense of things being changed, some things being added, things being taken away, and then recast. Her appearance in the mortal world is maybe like an awkwardly aged manic pixie girl. She's got the kind of like floofy hair, and she dresses eccentrically and all of those things, though this is before the time of the manic pixie girl being fully recognized as a type, so I don't know. But anyway, so she's a little bit strange seeming to the regular world. To those who can see her undertow self, she looks like she's an ember in flame. She looks very, very hot, if that makes any sense. And she looks like she's burning, if that makes any sense. So she kind of thinks she remembers a vaguely happy home, like that there was something before, but she can't place it. She has no sense of it. It's more like she can remember seeing Polaroids, but like when she thinks about them, they burn. That's kind of the problem. All of her memories just kind of burn when she tries to remember too hard. The other thing that she remembers is applause. So she has this sense that she's supposed to be like a performer because of that applause, and that's kind of what she's trying to style herself around, because she really has no other sense of herself. She essentially spent all of her time in the undertow in the foundry of infinitesimal progress, not making any progress that she has any sense of. but it was infinitesimal, so that's probably how it is. Yeah, we aren't going to get into our entanglements yet, right?
No, I think that gives us a good
Yeah,
sense.
she did take a mentor.
Mhm.
And her mentor is with the Court of Mirrors. They are a pledged mentor. So essentially, they could kind of see the possible paths for a person, um, and possibilities, but they can see them clearest after you failed. So it's kind of a painful process of being mentored. Is like to find your true thing, you have to really mess up a lot. But I guess that's just how the world is anyway, right?
Yeah,
I could do it.
that
So
seems fair. Yes.
yeah.
You all have entanglements. We'll come back to those in a moment. You can take a bond with a person from each of those entanglements. So you should figure out who that is. And then you will all have a string on an NPC. And that can be an NPC just from the courts. It can be an NPC from your entanglements. Don't have to decide your strings now. I'm going to let you decide that on the fly here in this first scene if you want.
So are bonds PC only?
They can be PC. Uh, they can be with NPCs because you can spend them to help yourself. If you have a bond with an NPC, you can't really spend it to help them, but you do draw on sort of your connection with them to give yourself a boost.
In comparison, strings do what?
Strings is your way of pushing an NPC to do what you want.
And so in our string section, we should probably put, like whoever we have would be one thing. Should we keep up with who has strings on us as well?
No, you don't have. There are no strings on you. That will be that's hard moves.
Gotcha.
That's hard moves and not following up when you've done favors for people. They come back to you, and you go into bad repute.
Gotcha.
So that's that. But strings are pulled on NPCs, and bonds help with moves. So we are taking up. It is December 31st, 1998. It is about 50, 55 degrees out Fahrenheit out in Mobile here. It is New Year's Eve. It is, people are out. This isn't Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras happens beginning of March, but this is, a big citywide celebration. The bars downtown are packed. The restaurants are packed. There are a lot of people downtown. There is a ceremony that goes on downtown. And because of the importance of these kinds of year turn things, the yokai, all the courts get together and they provide for all those who are members of the courts a big party. There are yokai who are not part of courts for whatever reason. They have fallen out of favor. They have broken away. They've never joined. No one wants them. There are all those kinds of reasons. They don't get invited to this party. There aren't that many of them, but they don't get invited. Come Mardi Gras time, all the rules change and they're allowed in. But now, no. So that's where we're going to be starting. We're going to come back to after this whole big process. We're going to talk about where you all live because you all have a bond together. You are tied together. We'll figure out exactly how that has come about, whether it's a thing that you all came out of the undertow at relatively the same time, or you just drifted together, or whatnot. But you all know each other, you're all friends, and when people think about the group of you, they think of you as often as a group, as a friend group, at the very least. But we take up a big building, and I think we have seen that outside there is the equivalent of a bouncer outside, light drizzling rain. It rains all the time in Mobile. It is the rainiest city on the Gulf Coast, as I discovered. Super overcast. And there was a bouncer outside, probably a big brute who kind of let you in. Off in the distance, you would have heard, jazz playing and songs and shouting and people vomiting already. It's New Year's Eve. You're not downtown, but you're close enough to pick up the sound of it, music blaring and so on. And you come through a big kind of warehouse space that's darkened that you have to walk through. And I think through the lights that we're seeing outside, probably some fireworks and things through some of the windows, we can see that there are decayed parade floats. We've been here for a couple of years. We can see that the flowers that they're decorated on them have rotted and faded. We can see a lot of the wire work and things like that. They've kind of sagged on the things. This is a former social club for one of the Mobile crews that got shut down a couple of years ago, and the Yokai kind of came in and bought out their social club space. They haven't bothered to clean it up. The Yokai don't do parade floats, but you find yourselves kind of walking through that. There's probably those big giant head Mardi Gras things that are stacked up in the corner, like a big severed puppet heads there, also rotting paper mache in a humid environment left in a building. You can imagine what that looks like. The skin is probably sloughing off of these things. But then I imagine we come to kind of one of those big sort of double sliding doors, and it opens up and the light comes out, and we're in the kind of big event hall space, where they would have had, there's a little stage, you've got a little bar, they've got tables around and about, and very, very much a kind of the VFW layout for a place here. But they've got music playing, lights. Everyone from all the courts are here. People have gone to rent a center, and they've got one of those big rolling, have to push it along because it weighs like 100 pounds TVs, plugged it in. Heat just bakes off of it when you plug it in. They've got one of those running, essentially showing what's going on downtown with all of the stuff there. They've got Courtney Cox and David Arquette are the masters of ceremonies this year for the Mobile pageant. It looks very clear that they're already both pretty drunk, and they're out there. Another one pushed off to the corner, the other TV. You can see some people standing around it, kind of watching the television and shaking their heads. And you can see that they're playing the Music City Bowl that happened a couple of days ago. Roll Tide Roll, and it did not. They lost to Virginia Tech in the postseason, and it was not good. It was a not great season. The fact that they went to the Music City Bowl, the first time that bowl has ever been up in Vanderbilt just station. So people are saddened by this, and that really does seem to put a damper on things. There's food around. Great Slavs. The money has been spent on catering. There's a table that is just covered in moon pies of all shapes, colors, and descriptions, all the varieties of them there. The moon pie, by the way, is the symbol of Mobile. it doesn't drop a ball for New Year's Eve. There's a giant illuminated moon pie that drops. I'm not kidding.
Perfect.
So that's what's
This is the
there.
best city ever. I had no idea.
Um, Yokai can drink, they can take drugs, all of that kind of thing. But any of that kind of stuff, that mundane stuff, you will only become inebriated or intoxicated if you choose to become that way with any kind of normal alcohol or drugs and things like that. So that's why when you look over and you see that the bar has all of these bottles that are labelless and kind of worn, and you realize that some of the courts have gone all out because what you do is you take alcohol and you put it out into the undertow and you let it drift and you let it wear away the glass and the labels and ferment, and what comes back is alcohol of indeterminate nature, but it will make the yokai drunk, regardless of whether they wish to be drunk or not. And so that is all out there. Tell me something else about this party environment that we are seeing William Lomanak.
Oh yes, I have not changed my name. I shall do that momentarily.
Absolutely.
But I think one of the things they've done for this big party is they've set up like a big water tank slash feature. And we have all sorts of fish that are swimming around inside of it, and the kind of bubble curtains for some of the space there. But we've got a big water feature that's our center point.
All right. For like a brilliant zoological display, or are people getting fish out of there to cook, or what is it?
I think it would be ideally it was there to be pretty, but we've
Okay.
certainly got a set of people that are having
Abyssinian
fun,
Max is up on a chair
possibly doing that.
doing
Yes,
that.
and
Absolutely.
some might frown on it, but others are kind of in the spirit of the fun. So there's a little to both.
Yeah, beautiful fish. There's a big horrible terrapin in there. The least appetizing fish that is in that. So we see that. Aldo, what's another thing that we see here in this party, in this gathering? And also my AC is up. So if it starts to get noisy that you can hear it, tell me.
Can't hear it at all.
Okay, good. Thank God.
I mean, the thing jumping out at me is not a new thing. It's just a small addition. At the bottom of this tank, there's a like small, maybe 2-3 feet long alligator hanging out. Looks like a normal alligator from a distance, but if you really look at it, it has too many eyes.
Absolutely. Just kind of sitting there. The gators do.
Also, like
yeah.
it just hangs out at the bottom. It doesn't seem to come up from air ever. It's clearly alive. Doesn't seem to need to breathe.
Yeah. Not as many gators around here, but sometimes gators come up out of the bay. They get up on the causeway. They walk around until somebody calls the sheriff's department, and then they go out and they have to hook it and drag them back and drop them back in the bay. So not unusual to see them, but not with quite that many eyes. Mr. Suit, what is another thing that we're going to see on screen here?
So it's sort of wild, but I'm going with it. And it's very pervasive. But all the walls, the columns, the ceiling, the floor, everything in here has been mirrored for this party.
Ooh.
So that everything is reflected over and over again. It's hard to tell exactly like how many people are here at any given time. It's hard to tell what is a weird like double reflected alcove and what is it actually like a way off to somewhere. It makes the space feel like unfamiliar and these weird possibilities at the edges of it. A little mirror mazy.
Yeah. They have wrapped the bar and the tables and everything in that silver mylar stuff. You know, it has the crinkles, which kind of help break the effect a little bit, but you know, they've used it as contact paper for every shelf and things in here. So it is all weird and wild and disconcerting. And finally, Lydia Smythe's suit. Uh, what is
Yes.
another thing that we see here in this party?
So this is kind of like a little bit wacky, but someone brought in a what looks like a super new, super cool CD jukebox, but they have taken CDs that were big this year and they left those out in the undertow, and that's what they're going to play. No one knows what it is, but there are no less than 5 different copies of the Titanic soundtrack that are ready to go.
Yes. All in there they come. Some of the songs will medley with old songs. Some of the songs will medley with voices from other places. Some of the songs will mix into songs that have not yet been written, and that you know that you'll hear this coming year. There of course is the Prince album is with the
In there too,
1999 is playing. There's
1999.
probably at least 3 or 4 copies of that
Exactly.
in there as well. So we will see the people gathered, the NPCs that we've heard mentioned gathered around. And so we can kind of see some symbols. The courts mingle, particularly the Court of Suns. They are the ones who are most joyous and into things. But there is definitely a gravity to what we're going to call for the moment the Dukes. They are the Dukes of each of the courts. And so the Duke of Lanterns, Tyler, you look on the NPCs tab, we go up to the top. It's called Bane Becky. She, not entirely clear what kind of yokai she is. She definitely has a reptilian bestial aspect to her. But her body shifts and changes. Tell me something about the Duke of Lanterns, your Duke.
I think she has this fondness for deep harmony a cappella that she will get lost in, and tears will run down her face. No matter if it's upbeat or sad, she seems to revel in it, and tears just flow down her face as she listens.
Absolutely. I mean, people are around her as she's kind of, you know, uh, you know, crying and wailing and listening as Don't Worry, Be Happy is playing, and it seems to be just hitting her right at the bottom of her soul
Mhm.
there. Uh, what do we call the lieutenants? If we call our princes dukes, the lieutenants, their second in command, what should we call them? Any thoughts?
Um, let's steal from Game of Thrones. Let's
Okay.
call them their hands.
Their hands. Okay.
The
Uh,
hand, the Duke.
the hands of the Duke. So Aldo, the hand of Bane Becky, the hand of the Court of Lanterns. There is Bayman. He is wet. He is in an old style fishing coat and hat, worn and such. Tell us something about Bayman.
I'm looking at him here, and it looks like that sort of greenish skin. It's wood. It's old, weathered, moldy looking wood.
Like ship's driftwood that is sat
Mhm.
out in the algae and water and time have done that. He moves very slowly. He kind of moves in waves. When he moves, he laps forward, and then suddenly he's right by you. Um, so he is that figure. Uh Lydia, or I'm sorry, Mr. Suit, you are of the Court of Mirrors, correct?
Yes.
And the leader of the Court of Mirrors is Aladdin Song. And I have a picture of him there. He has wild hair, scarification, and some things sticking out of him. I don't know if they're branches or knives or what. Haven't decided yet. You haven't decided yet. Tell us something about the Duke of Mirrors, Aladdin Song.
Um, I think his voice comes out, audible and understandable, but echoing and muffled like you're hearing it underwater. It's got that like distorted, flattened sort of not quite right sound to it, and I think his wild hair uh, sort of shifts and moves like it's underwater caught in waves.
Excellent. It carries, it does that, it moves of its own volition to waters that you can't see there, as if he's constantly a little bit in the undertow there. And then last but not least, Lydia, the leader of the Court of Suns,
Mhm.
is named Shining Cellar. Uh, Tell us something about her.
She has a lovely voice, a lovely mesmerizing voice. Um, and her hair uh kind of falls down behind that gown that she wears. And moves like Aladdin's songs. It isn't exactly to water, but maybe a little bit of its own volition on occasions. But that robe that she wears, it's almost like a Moroccan robes, they cover kind of around like that and everything.
Mhm.
But the thing is that when she walks, she leaves a trail of water. And her her gait is very strange. And you don't ever see like footprints per se, more like a wet trail.
Okay. Like a sea witch
Exactly.
carrying along here. So you all have come in here. Everyone who is anyone among the courts of here is here. Your NPCs are here. Your entanglements are here. Your friends are here. So we're going to do some once arounds. Marrow, uh, what are parties like for you? And who do you want to interact with? What scene do you want to call here?
Parties are, I mean, I'm not a life of the party sort of person, but I am the sort of person who wishes that they were the life of the party sort of person. So I enjoy parties in the abstract, but once I get there, I tend to find a corner or I have a person or two that I lurk around. And I think that as I've kind of come in and I've given it the look over the place, um, I rather kind of swiftly move over to Abyssinian backs, and there's my hand kind of comes up and like kind of scruffs the back of his neck as I just move in and kind of put my head to his shoulder.
Huh.
And it's a friendship that has a flirtative thing, but every friendship with Abyssinian has sort of a flirtative thing.
It's like, no, do you want one of these fish? Look, I can get you one of these fish. I'm such a good fisherman. I could just get up in there and I can reach down and get
You're
one.
going to get in trouble again.
No one's yelled at me yet. And the night is young.
What are you going to do with it if you catch it?
Well, I know they've got a smoker out back. Could throw it on the smoker.
That's a fairly coherent plan.
Ah, see, that was very, very clever of me.
Oh, okay. Well, um, I'll sit here and watch you fish. Is that okay?
I think that's not okay. I think that you need to be circulating, right?
I don't want to circulate
You don't want to
though.
circulate. Why is it you don't want to circulate?
I don't
Is
know these
there,
people, and the ones I do are mean.
oh, well, that's true. That's true, but they'll never stop being mean unless you like give them reason to love you or fear you. Both are good. Both are good.
Well, I, I, I suppose I should go say hey to Nameless just to see how they're doing, and some of my crew's coming. I know that Aldo and Suit and Lydia will be here.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Lydia.
Lily is, in any case, uh, uh please, I don't particularly want to
Lily, sorry.
drink deeply of your despair, but tell me if you go over a Nameless so I can have your back.
Okay, I'll work my way up to that. I'll come get you.
And he says, I know you're new here this year, but also make sure that you go and present yourself to the Duke, say hello, make sure they know that you're here and they know that you know that they're important. Okay.
Thanks, Max. And I'll kind of rub up against his chest for a minute.
He
and start
purrs
moving.
just a little.
And I'll start moving off.
Okay. Aldo, here in this music, in these mirrors, and these lights, what is your reaction to the party here?
I mean, it's not that much different from from Max, except that I'm not trying to steal live fish.
Right.
Definitely like snacking on food any chance I can get a hold of it. And mostly because I think I'm a little bit nervous. There's a lot of people, and these mirrors are just like driving me slightly nuts because I can't see. Like I can smell things that I can't, or I can see things that I can't smell or hear in that direction. It's very weird. It's very disorienting. Could probably do
Absolutely.
better just closing my eyes, but I haven't thought about that yet.
And I think that probably there are a number of other wildlings uh, who are in the courts here who are kind of in the same boat as you. I think perhaps that at some point you'll catch that, every once in a while there's a cold breeze that comes in as a door to the back opens up and there's the smell of cigars and cigarettes and the barbecue and all of that comes wafting in. Who do you want to talk to?
Um, there's so many people here that are all very weird and very interesting. You know what? I think I am possibly annoying Songbird Rex by like it's always staying in view of her because I have promised to protect her.
So yeah, you're kind of doing that. And I think there comes a point at which you are doing that and you've done that. And I think that finally Songbird Rex comes over to you and she says, was there something you wanted? Did you
No,
need
no, no,
something?
no. No, no, it's fine. It's fine. And not no, it's all good.
There's nothing
Um,
on me?
no, 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 you're fine. I'm just I don't know. I wasn't I'm sorry, I was not staring at you. You are by far the least weird person here. Maybe that's why.
I don't know how to take that. I think there are people here that are less weird than me. Uh, you almost make it a challenge at that point.
Uh, I mean, didn't mean it that way.
Okay, okay. Now I just is everything cool? We're cool?
Oh yeah, 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 we're fine. Hey, you want a moon pie? I got one here.
Always. And I think that those, grabbed up off that is probably amongst the court people a universal signal of let's cut this conversation off a little, kind of the defensive tactic. Um, uh, and so let's then come to Mr. Suit. Mr. Suit likes parties.
It's true. Um, I realized that I forgot to describe what he looks like earlier. It's a party, so it's always a good time. Um, he he's late 40s. Uh, Good looking, but not like super handsome. And is almost always wearing, unsurprisingly, a suit. He's wearing like dark crimson maroon sort of suit jacket with a like semi disorienting wave pattern sort of woven into the fabric. And he's got a mirror that's made out of like geometric pieces, or a tie that's made out of geometric pieces of mirror uh, going down the front of it. And the sort of disorienting thing looking at him here, because it is a yokai gathering, is that his seeming, is that what we're going with?
His you mean his face or his persona? Face being
Uh,
what people see in the real world, persona being his changeling yokai sort of.
Persona.
Okay.
Gotcha. His persona is he was taken when he was 19, and his persona is still in a way that age,
Hmm.
but very like smoothed out and perfected. His hair almost has like a Ken doll plasticness to it.
His hair was
Uh,
perfect.
yes, just stopped there.
Yeah.
Um, and his skin has like a poreless, plasticky smoothness to it. It's sort of occasionally like the image of it flickers out, and there's the nothingness underneath. And I think over time, even though the plastic is perfect and hasn't changed, like the edges of it are almost sort of worn, It's like the finish on it is uneven and cracked in some places, sort of look. Yes. um, but yeah, so I think he is there for the party, and he feels very at home in this sort of situation.
Hmm.
It's I thought about whether like a party would be like traumatic or triggering for him, but he almost spent a life like just on the other wall, hearing the party going on in the other room and never actually able to attend it, because if he was attending it, then he was being warned. He wouldn't remember it. So there's this like draw to it, and almost a like feeling in his chest that like pulls him towards knots of conversation or interesting looking things going on.
And what is he drawn to? What conversation does he want to engage with? Who does he want to talk to?
Um, I'm curious about Aladdin song.
Okay. You will move over to him. He is uh, uh, talking sort of animatedly with a couple of people from the court, and he will look up at you as you approach, and then will stand and he will bow, Mr. Suit.
Duke Aladdin song.
It is good to have you here, you and your cohort with us. This is your first New Year's with us, is it not?
It is. I haven't been in the city that many months. I like the decorations. It's good to see a bit of representation at a gathering like this.
Uh, it is our holiday. Mirrors stands at that turning point of the deepest darkness that lies there of the winter, but the hopeful change. Each year is a mirror to the last in its own way. So we get to pick our decorations here. It will make up for what we have to put up with at Mardi Gras in a few months.
Oh, I tremble in anticipation.
Uh,
It is a good time to have as our particular holiday, I suppose.
we build the cornerstone here for what is needed to protect all, and that is carved out of not fear here exactly, but there is that worry, that anxiety that people have when they stand in a room of mirrors. Where should they put their foot down? Is this going to give way? Where are the boundaries? When they see themselves out of the corner of their eye reflected in the wall, and they think to themselves, surely I don't look like that. Surely I look better than that. That's the little anxieties that we work with.
And the dark times of the year. That is when people's resistance finally breaks down. The most interesting, the deepest of promises are given in the cold and the dark, aren't they?
They are. It is a dangerous time for those like you and I. We are powered by these emotions, by these sensations, not from our own brethren here. This is more amusement, but for people outside, for the others, they give us what we need. But we have to be careful. Our magic is borrowed from those who know only deception and taking, and we have to be careful when we drink that we don't drink too much.
I'll just take feeling strong and full for once. It's a nice change.
And you see him pause, like he's about to say something else. And he says, well, we'll have a conversation about some other things at a later time, Mr. Suit.
Look forward to it, of course. If you'll excuse me, I feel music is calling.
Please. And Lydia, like, what is your reaction to coming into a full sway mirrored music, ball, food, dancing, drink,
I'm thrilled.
televisions?
I am ecstatic. This is so much fun. And this is the perfect day to show everyone what my developed talent is. And I pass out moon pies as I go by, because I have learned how to heat them perfectly so that the marshmallow inside is melty. The cookie is just slightly warm, but the chocolate on the outside, the chocolate wax on the outside is not at all like melted. So you have that perfect like crunch through the chocolate, nice warm cookie, and melted but not super heated marshmallow.
Mm-hmm.
She can pass those around. This is when the packages aren't full plastic; they're that kind of waxy paper, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it still works great. So she comes in and she's passing those out like they're party favors. And she sort of, I think she swings by Nameless and the other, what is
He
her
is
name?
there, kind
With
of in a
with
clinch
Regal
with Regal
Dough.
Dough. Yes.
Yeah, and I sort of give one of the moon pies to Regal Dough and then sort of turn my back and grab Nameless by the arm and say, come with me, I have to show you something. And I will lead him away and over tomorrow. And essentially sort of deliver a moon pie to the both of them and leave them on my thing. I literally go around the room. I talk to everyone. That is what I do. And the very last person that I go to speak to is probably this way.
So who do you go talk to?
This way. They're under the Court of Mirrors.
Ah,
They're my mentor.
that's right. So they are seated on a table, legs pulled up under them. There are a couple of other yokai who are there who are kind of listening to them talk. They are giving out words of wisdom, advice. People are kind of coming over. They weirdly hang on this way. But then also when they go away, they don't quite remember exactly what this way said to them.
I sort of feel bad for them, so I make sure they all have a moon pie to take with them.
Oh,
So
thank you. Wow.
perfect,
And
isn't it?
your mentor will look up at you and, my child,
It is so good to see you this way. How are you doing this evening?
I am as I am. And you?
Means that you're spectacular once again. Always, always worth the time and the moments. And that's the most important part, the moments.
And you seem like the troubles that sometimes boil beneath the surface are hidden away tonight?
Yes, I'm hiding them very well behind moon pies. It's a particularly effective armor.
It is said that eating is the best way to bury one's sorrow.
Here, try one.
Ah, they are delicious. I saw you interfering.
It was just the smallest of interferences, inevitable in the eating, and I simply did it. Took care of it preemptively. How is that?
I see that, but I also see you nibbling those moon pies down yourself.
I promised tomorrow I would help. I always fulfill my promises, but I don't claim that I never regret them. There. See? Truthful.
Very.
My mouth is full of moon pie.
These are delightful. The marshmallow is exquisite, supple and pliable, one might say.
Yes.
And
I feel very sad that
there is soon to be the dropping of the ball, the singing of the odd long song.
I've been
That
practicing.
midnight on this day. And who will you be standing by when that happens?
Oh, you are so tactical. I am glad I know you. I'm
Yes,
going to have
you
to
should
figure
be.
this out. Yes, I am. I will think on it.
Good, good. All right, all right. As long as you have that in your mind, visualize success.
He puts your fingers on her forehead and walks away.
Keep your third eye open.
You can poke it.
So Mero, there is that moment when there's a kind of a whirlwind that passes through, and there's a moon pie in your hand, and suddenly Nameless is there. Would you please roll inner turmoil?
I will. And I should pick a thing to roll with it.
Yes.
I think it's going to be fear. Yes, it will be fear. That's a 10. Wow.
That is a 10. What is it that that shows us that you're ready for this, or this doesn't take you by surprise, or you find some, no pun intended, backbone?
Yeah, I think there's that kind of scared, caught in a headlights sort of moment there when Hurricane Spy Suit comes through and drops Nameless off. But I think that kind of Marrow kind of breaks it a little. And hi, Nameless. And there's this reaching out like I'm going to touch his hand, but when I get like an inch or so away, I kind of draw back. Not nice party.
It is. It is. You should come over and join Regal and I.
Well, I don't want to interrupt the two of
Oh,
you.
come. It kind of puts his hand on your arm, and like he's very clearly, if you don't resist, going to move you over there to put you in the most awkward of situations.
I can say hi, but I have to go up and present myself to her grace. But I'll say hello if you want.
Absolutely. You're two of my dearest friends.
Okay.
And they will drag you over to where Doe is at.
Hi, Regal. Nice to see you again.
Let's have you roll me a d6. Let's do a fate die to see. Also, because you rolled inner conflict, you get to mark XP.
I got a 3. Very,
Got a
very
3.
in the middle.
So you can tell they look at you. They know there's something up, but not entirely. Like they're still being polite. They're so they're not sure exactly what's going on. They will greet you. They will say, Marrow, how are you? How are you doing this evening?
Oh, pretty good. Parties, not exactly my thing, but it is nice to see all the courts together. I appreciate seeing people working together and everybody friendly.
It is important. This is one of the ritual times for us and for this place.
I hope you would the Nameless are having a, a good time. I didn't want to interrupt, but Nameless insisted I drop by a second.
And she does that thing where she slides over and puts her arm through his arm in that kind of not not deliberately possessively way, but it's certainly a point being made there. And yes, we were talking about some special things, and then there's a laughed exchange between them, clearly a private joke, and
Yeah.
um,
Well,
and
I don't want to get in the way of that. It sounds nice. Nameless, we need to catch up sometime, but I hardly ever see you, and Regal, I'd love the chance to see you again too. So, but I have to go see her Grace. If you'll excuse me, bye.
they'll nod and let you pull yourself away. Um, there you kind of get get out of that, but you manage to hold yourself together. I think even yourself, you'll feel that you did that well. And I think as you turn, you'll see Max like giving you the big double cat's thumbs up there.
I'll do that.
Uh Aldo, where do we see you drift to from there?
Um, Many people here. I will go talk to Ellie.
Allie will uncoil herself from a group of people that she's with and come and over to you, does the air kisses beside your cheeks there. Hot. Her breath is hot as she does that. How tall is she? Is she taller than you, shorter than you, about your
I
height?
think I think in like normal, normal everyday form, she's a little bit shorter than me.
And she will look at you and she will say, after the moon pie drops, we're going to climb up onto the roof and uh, scream curses at the sky, if you're interested.
You're asking a coyote if they want to howl at the moon. Yes, of course I'm
Yes,
interested.
very much, very much. How are you doing?
Um, same old, same old. Nothing. You know, um, keeping my head down mostly.
Are you still watching your block?
Yeah, yeah, always. But it's been okay. You're gonna call me paranoid here. It's been quiet, and I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop because it's never been quiet for this long.
I will tell you a secret about this place, a secret that you should know that I have picked up from others. I've only been here as long as you, but I have heard that this place is becalmed. within the few days before and after football.
Wow.
And that
No, that makes sense.
we are actually lucky that the Crimson Tide did not win. There would be people out in the streets. There would be celebrations.
Yeah,
if they ever win the SEC, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, yeah, let's just hope they don't.
Don't say that out loud.
No, got it.
Don't
Yeah,
invoke
of course
that.
not. But no, I don't know why I never thought about that before. But yeah, football. Huh.
I will have
Okay.
to, at some point, share a secret with you. Something that I have added to my hoard.
Oh, yeah, I can see why you might not want to talk about that here and
Yes,
now,
yeah,
but
no.
yeah.
I told Semolina, of course, already.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Think I'm making progress with her.
Um, she's unpredictable, so you never know.
Yes, but everyone loves shiny things, and I bring her shiny things.
That is true. She does. I've heard that about her, so that is probably the right approach. Yeah.
Absolutely, she is my savior after all.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Inner turmoil, please. What do you want to roll that with?
Uh, is this anger or sorrow? It is somewhere in between. Let's go with sorrow
Okay.
because I am deliberately trying not to like argue with this. 9.
9.
Oh wait, no, 10 because it's +1.
Okay. Oh, so you also, this is a good night. You and Marrow have kept yourself steady. You don't reveal anything. You don't give away the game at all. You keep yourself steady. You get to mark XP. Well, I'll catch up with you after the pie drops.
Yeah, yeah. I'll see you on the roof.
Let's take our first break here. Take 10. We're going to come back. We'll go to Suit, Lydia, maybe do another once round. So that's what we're going to do. So take 10 and we'll be back. And we are back. Mr. Suit, what is it that we're going to see you doing here? Who are you talking to as this evening goes on?
So, this hall that we're in,
Mm-hmm.
is there a particular person or court that usually has domain or upkeep or whatever over this place?
Of the building itself or of this event?
Yeah, of the building.
Oh gosh, I assume it would be Court of Suns, given that it is kind of a party place. They'd probably be their domain normally.
Uh, then I think I'd like to go talk to Duke Shining Cellar. Thank
Okay,
her for, hosting this.
she will watch you as you approach through, chatting with people. The Court of Suns is probably the largest of the courts. by virtue of various reasons. But she will greet you. She will say, "Mr. Suit, we meet again."
It has been too long.
It has been a while. Would you like to make that move roll now?
Yeah.
Because this
Why
feels
don't we
like
do that?
a thing that this is be. And now, mind you, I just want to make it
Observant.
clear with that movement, the observant. You can always say, no, I think I've already met them, or I don't think this is applicable. But this feels like a chance to try that out.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't want to call it as the first thing with my Duke, but this is someone else's Duke.
Getting some other else's Duke mad at me is fine. What do you want to roll that with?
Um, it sort of makes sense to roll it with joy, sons.
Yeah.
It's a party. Everybody's happy. We're smiling. That's an 8.
That is an 8. So if we look there, on a 10 plus, you know a dangerous secret about them. Do you want to tell me that secret? Or do you want me to tell you that secret?
Why don't you tell me?
I think that you have been watching throughout this, and I think that you have seen Shining Stellar be that handmaiden of joy, that bringer of enjoyment, of talking with people and songs and such. But the suit doesn't quite entirely fit. And it is just that little bit of watching that you have become aware. Most people wouldn't notice it. Most people wouldn't read it, but you're used to trying to figure out what lies beneath the skin. And you can tell that there is some dangerous tension simmering between Shining Cellar and the Duke of the Court of Broken Shackles, Faustina Knox.
Mm.
Does that seem like a fair thing to say to you?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Okay. And with your role, they are not aware that you are aware of that.
Um,
What do you want to
I
do
say,
with that?
I say, yes, it's so wonderful of the Suns to host all of us for this important ritual. It's my first chance to celebrate a new year in Mobile with the courts.
She says, this is not really our season. We, this is very much your season, your Court of Mirrors season. This is your time to, well, I don't want to say shine because it really isn't that. That's not what you're about. But it is, you know, we all have roles beyond things, and ours is keeping the party going, as it were, keeping the party house going.
It's the first chance I've had to see all of the courts together. It's so nice of you to open your doors to people like me and Duke Aladdin Song and even people like Duke Knox.
We open our doors very carefully to those who we know and who we trust. one has to be careful about what kind of portals one opens.
Yeah, see, mix strange elements together and the sort of reactions that go off is interesting to see.
It is. It is. And what kind of reactions are you looking for, Mr. Suit?
I am here looking for new connections, new friends. It's a party, it's a place for that sort of thing.
Well, I certainly have heard that you know lots of people, and
Well,
it is a party.
I do sort of make it my job to get around. Again, so wonderful to see you again. We really should catch up more often.
If that's what you wish.
I can't think of anything more enjoyable.
Well, bless your heart. Let's come to Lydia.
Oh, goodness. So I was going to go speak to Shining Cellar, and I watched that exchange with Mr. Suit, and I'm kind of like, and I think while I'm standing there, Drummond Kane kind of walks up like right behind me, and I sort of
What are Drummond Kane's pronouns?
they them.
Okay.
But sometimes they take offense at that because they just like a good argument.
Absolutely. They come up behind you, and there is that moment when you are shocked for a second, and then you realize that in fact they have goosed you quite royally with their hand.
And I'm like, moon pie.
They look perhaps a little disappointed that they didn't get more of a reaction out of you, but they will eat the moon pie.
You quite surprised me. You are particularly stealthy.
No, you're particularly unaware, maybe.
Oh, I'm going to have to write that down in my diary and try to take care of that.
Diary. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Do you keep a secret diary?
I do.
A ledger diary?
Yes.
A
And
journal?
I'll tell you which drawer I keep it in.
See, you take the fun right out of these things.
Are you sure? Maybe there's a trap.
Yeah. So, besides moon pieing it up, what are you up to?
I've been practicing singing Old Anxiety.
It is a truly stupid song.
It's a stupid song, and it's ridiculously hard to sing properly. However, I've committed to the bit.
Absolutely. Well, make sure that you go and get some help from Broken Shackles. They are the musical court.
And who among those should I approach?
Well, if I were you, I would be very careful about Regal Doe.
I'm in agreement on that point.
Ali Doge's is if you're looking to get twisted up in something, make things complicated for yourself, there's a way to go.
I already have a friend in that situation. I think I need to stay clear in case I need to wrestle them out of the situation.
Then I would say that the deep, throaty reverb bass of Cantorian Wolf might be your your target destination.
Oh, interesting. Such a hard read.
You just have to make sure that he sticks to the lyrics.
Okay. So if he gets, like, he doesn't do that thing where he repeats the wrong verse, right? It's more like,
No,
just
if
makes
he
things
gets
up.
lost, he starts cursing
oh, oh,
to make sure he's on track.
all right. So if I can do that, it's like a service for all in some ways too.
It is very much a service for all.
All right. Well, thank you. These are good things to know.
And I'm a good person to know. I'm a person that you should owe favors to and should treat kindly and
Hmm.
provide me with everything I richly desire.
Oof. I just don't know if I could summon up the resources for the favor that you deserve.
But that is true. It's true. I deserve everything, don't I?
Exactly. And that's my thinking. But if you come up with something, speak to me and I will see what I can do.
Ah, you're going to regret those words.
Oh, I hope so, though. That makes for a good story, doesn't it?
Touche. It's getting later on. We're in that kind of last half hour before people are going to have to head and do their pairings up or get in position or get their last drinks on. The noise outside has gotten louder. The fireworks are starting off a little bit here. I think it's the building that you see in Tyler's background. I think that's the RTS tower. I can't remember what it's called, but it is the largest building in Alabama, as well as, of course, the largest building in Mobile.
You
So
mean tallest?
tallest.
Yes,
Tallest is actually what I mean. Thank you. The
certainly.
tallest building in Alabama or Mobile or both. So let's come back to Marrow.
I think I probably need to present myself to my to my Duke.
Okay. You will see she is finishing off from another particular round of kind of choral singing. They're doing like some classic standards and show tunes and things like that. And they're just finishing up with "Think About the Sun, Pippin," and they're going on there when you will uh, uh, join them, and uh, uh, she will greet you, stand up, comes over, uh, uh, says, "It's chilly out, Marrow. Do you not have a coat, a cape, something? You're going to catch your death of cold out here."
I've got a hoodie and a oh, thank you, Your Grace, for caring.
Okay, well, if you get a chill, promise me that you'll come and see me, and I will make sure that you are kept warm.
Thank you, Your Grace. That's very nice of you.
I have the luxury of having all the heat drained out of my body, my blood run cold like a serpent. But you could catch chill.
Yeah, I suppose I could. My blood is very, very and I'll kind of look down, accessible, maybe. Uh I uh it's a nice party.
It is to your satisfaction.
It's yeah, I got to speak with some people and that's nice. And seeing you is very, very nice. And I suppose the mirrors will have some sort of something, you know, changes of the season that they'll talk about, and that's good. I liked our party better.
It is nice. It is one of those things that we enjoy in this moment, and then it's gone forever from us. that is the light that we bring to these things, is knowing about the impermanence of things, the sadness of loss. Let me show you. And she'll reach over and she puts her hand on your shoulder and she turns you and she'll say, look there. Perhaps but a quarter of the moon pies remain. And the other 3/4, some eaten, some thrown away, some disgorged after a few too many drinks. That is the way of things. That is the way of all moon pies.
It's true. You can't expect the moon pie to last forever, and knowing that you may not get a moon pie makes the moon pie you have sweeter.
It does.
You
What
always
is
put things in such great perspective.
I try. What is it that you want, Marrow?
Oh, well, I mean, I have simple tastes. I've really been working very hard lately to. I know there's a perfect tuna noodle caboodle recipe. I just can't find the right one yet. I've been trying. I'll get it though. And, you know, that keeps me busy. And my friends are often in a lot of trouble. And that keeps me busy too.
It is good to have the friends that you do.
Yeah, they're all right.
I've heard that you dip deep into the currents of the undertow, that you harvest from the dreams there.
Yeah, I cast my net occasionally.
I've heard that you are a more skilled fisherman than you like to give out.
Well, it's always a little dangerous, anything that touches the sea.
Such talents are useful to the court. I hope that you will be useful to me.
Whatever you would need.
Good, good. There will be a time I will come to you for your help.
For sure, Grace. I I'm thankful for all you've done for me.
Don't be thankful just yet. Allow me to do something substantial before you are thankful.
Oh, well. Yes, ma'am.
And she will move on away from you. Aldo, let's come back to you here as it's getting late on in the hours.
Um, I think that I'm going to talk to Bayman.
Okay. Bayman is outside. I think you'll go out. You can see that there are a group of changelings who are out here. Of course, a couple of them arguing about what's the proper way to grill, and you really need to flip that burger and all of that classic kind of thing. But then there's a variety of tobaccos and other things being passed around. And Bayman is there and he will look at you. You notice he's out here kind of keeping watch on things, but he keeps away from the grill and the fire. But
Yeah, I put out my cigarette as I approach him.
Aldo.
Yeah. Hi. How are things going?
They're, well, as they can be here. They are, how do I put this? The condition it remains. That is how it is said in another language. And you? How are you?
Uh I'm yeah, I'm fine. Say it like it has somehow never occurred to me to actually like um uh not like no one has ever asked me, but no one has ever asked me it that slowly and forced me to like treat it like an actual question. But like the way he talks, it makes everything sound serious and like, you know, considered. So I feel like I have to, you know, reply in a serious and considered way. Um, uh, um, no, I'm fine. I figure out what I'm asking here is like basically how are things in the court, because I never show up for meetings.
Kind of maybe stumble around on it. He says,
Yeah.
I heard that you've been having some problems. Some problems with folk from outside our courts.
Oh, the goblins? No, they're just a pain in the ass.
Do not dismiss them too easily. They are tactical. They're not indiscriminate. Be careful.
All right. All right, I will.
Keep in mind that they are the ones that cast the nets, that gather the driftwood of relics, lost things from the undertow. That's what they put on the market. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay. Uh I will. That's you think they've found something?
Oh, they've always found something. But I also know I've heard in the roots that you have crossed paths with them, and not in a great way.
They're scavengers. I'm a scavenger. It's I think they see me as competition.
All right. All right. Well, you will call for help. Cry out for it if you need to.
I will. I haven't seen them around my neighborhood in a couple of weeks, but
That's either a very good sign or a very bad sign.
yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking.
Well, the hour draws nigh.
Yes. I need to go to the roof.
Mr. Suit, what? As it gets closer to the hour when everybody will be gathered there on the floor of the thing, various, hugs and kisses and pairings up and celebrations and all of that. Where do we find you? Who are you talking to? What do we want to see?
Um, I think similar to the sense that pulls him to interesting conversations and important people, he can also sort of feel the black hole of anti-party that is Marrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to go check in on Marrow.
Hatch Marrow, just as they're kind of bowing and detaching themselves from their prince, probably backing away, I imagine, a little bit because uncertainty about decorum. How do
Oh,
you catch their attention?
I think I'm coming over and Marrow just walks backwards into me.
so I think there's the jump
Sorry.
of, kind of, maybe even overreaction of jumping into, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, and seeing it's you, and relaxing and kind of reaching up and touching your arm. Oh, suit.
It's
It's you.
I'm sorry. It's okay. They're not lions, You
Why?
can break eye contact. You can turn around. It's okay.
Well, you're more confident with that than I am. It's just it pays to be polite.
Yes, of course. You look, sort of pats your shoulders. Nice.
Thank you. You do too. Are you having fun?
Well, it is party after all. That's what it's for.
Is it?
Yes, that's why they made them.
Oh, I always thought it was so that certain people could kind of get together and have fun, and the rest of everybody could just sort of look at them.
I feel like we're saying the same thing, but you're just pronouncing it differently. I don't understand.
Perhaps we're in different spots at the party.
It's good to see you out at a party.
I thought it would be a good idea, and I knew you would all be here, and I wanted to see Bax.
I think it's the first time I've seen you in public since the equinox.
Well, I had to be here for that. I mean, that that's us. But I'm not a bar person.
No, but it's nice to see you with the courts.
You always seem so much more comfortable in all of this. I, which I guess works out since most of the time we're together, so I can just stand behind you.
Well, that's not how you enjoy a party at all. You just have to find the right sorts of people to be around. And you found me, and that's a wonderful instinct. And you found other people, and he brushes a little tuft of cat hair off your shoulder. And I suppose that's nice too. We like to be charitable at parties.
Well, um, it seems like the rest of the crew are going about. I did see Lydia for just a second. She dropped off nameless to talk, and she certainly seemed to be enjoying herself.
And she's sort of like a force of nature in her crowd.
Well, everybody likes her. Well,
She was,
just about everybody. And I'll kind of brush off another little bit of hair.
she was yelling something about pies. I don't know.
Oh, did you not get a moon pie?
Is, or those were real food. Those weren't just.
They- They're having in cellophane. Did you not? What? I mean, it's it's
I thought it was
the
sort of like
dessert.
I thought it was sort of like a passing decoration. You know, the moon waning from light into
I'll
darkness.
take one out. And you
Is
should eat one. There's already 3/4 of them gone.
really sure it wasn't just symbolism.
Eat the pie.
Oh, it's so festive.
It's wonderful.
And dry. It has such a delightful crumble to it.
You're not eating it.
Oh no, they're almost gone.
You're no fun. You should come. We'll get Lydia to warm one up. That makes it a bit better.
I am famously lots of fun. I am amazing fun. I'm great at parties.
You're great at parties. And I think we'll head over towards Lydia, I guess, as I'm holding out an unwrapped moon pie towards you, Lydia.
Oh, do you need that heated up?
Yes. Suit being very strange in how they're eating a moon pie.
It's a ritual, apparently.
Mr. Suit, they can be divine. Please, I ask of you, and she'll pull it out from the little bag that she has. Give this one a try. You can see there's a sort of her hand, you know, it's kind of black with the embers, but you can see it kind of flare a little as she hands it over to you.
He gives a little hot potato hands. Blow
It
on it.
isn't really hot outside.
It's
Hot on the
smoking.
inside.
That's very strange. How do you do that? Oh,
And
the outside's still room. It's almost cold,
that's right.
but the inside's very mushy.
That's called melted. It's little marshmallow.
It's amazing.
It's a great improvement.
Perhaps you just should go and have some alcoholic drinks. That's probably more to your taste, isn't it? A martini, all olive tasting, that kind of thing.
I tried to get a cocktail, but it had a half of a moon pie stuck on the edge, and I didn't really know what to make of that world.
That's garnish.
I think I hug Morrow. You're absolutely right. You just don't understand how to do these party things, Mr. Suit.
And that's his last time having his first time eating a warm moon pie.
Tragedies abound. Tragedies abound.
I'm amazing at parties.
What was that, Mr. Suit?
Nothing. Delightful dessert treat.
I'm sure that you will find the true essence of a party that you are seeking. And she goes, I'm sorry that the moon pie didn't take you there. She'll pull another one out of the bag that she's carrying and heat it up and hand it tomorrow. You can have a second one. I'm holding a few back for us. Okay.
And Lydia, is there any person that you want to talk to before we?
Yeah, I do think that I am going to go and speak to essentially take the bait as per my the hand of Court of Suns, and go speak to Cantorian Wolf and ask him if when it's time to sing All Big Sign, if I could sing along with him, because I've heard that his voice is amazing.
He's there in that kind of, kind of panting dog kind of way, that
Mhm.
fur. And I want you to imagine, because I can't do it, but I want you to imagine that when he opens his mouth, it comes out this deep berry white,
She's like,
like
oh my goodness.
rich baritone. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Lydia. I can dig it if you want to get together and sing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. I will seek you out when it comes time. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much. And she bows. She's very respectful. She doesn't skip away, but she looks very pleased.
And we will get to that moment where it's that last minute where people are kind of gathered, where all the lights are kind of in a particular way. We can see the thing up on the screen. They're showing the footage from the other time zones, but now we're getting here, into Mobile's in Eastern time, I think. I think Florida. Yeah. Anyway, whatever it is, Central. Okay, so it is in Central. So we've already got the New York drop and stuff, and we're on to Central. And so Marrow, uh, like you are kind of, are you trying to stay at the edges? Are you trying to get towards someone, like here as you get to that moment when, kind of the ball drops,
Kind of torn between my friends and Max. And I think they'll be kind of the
What
look.
do you do when this shadowy figure inserts itself next to you, kind of puts its hand on your shoulder, and you say, Marrow? And you'll see Relentless Third, who I don't think you've actually met in actuality, kind of gets uncomfortably close to you.
Oh. Hi.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to play hard to get this evening.
Uh, I didn't mean to be difficult to find. It's nice to see you. Are you having a good time?
I am. Kind of does that thing where, like kind of an oily snake of an arm, kind of comes in and loops itself on your arm there.
Oh. Um, that sort of settles things. Because I know that if I know my group would be behind me, but I know someone who generally gets rid of people pretty easily. I was just heading to go speak to my friend Abyssinian. Let's and I start kind of moving in that direction with him, I suppose.
Let's have you roll conflict here.
Okay. Let's.
What do you want to roll that with?
And this is for me to get him
You're
force my
trying
will.
to
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
enforce your will. So really you're looking for at least a hit so that you can extricate yourself from the situation.
I gotcha. I think I'm gonna go with calm. This is just me easing out, trying to.
Okay.
It's my usual way to handle predators. It's okay.
Okay.
So, rolling that. Oof, that's a 6.
That is a 6. Now you can burn a bond if you wish to get that to a 7,
Oh,
or you're going to be stuck here when the ball drops.
oof. I'll burn my bond with Lily.
Okay. How is it that you extricate yourself?
Um, I think that it's sort of a little bit of him maybe trying to hold back from going the direction I'm wanting, and me kind of obliquely doing, oh, but oh, and to finally get near Max, and uh, Max, and I think that Max comes over and says something uncouth.
Okay. So you extricate yourself, and I'll assume the other pick you want is avoid reprisals, harm, or a cost. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, you'll get out of there without creating too much of an embarrassing scene. Patrick, do you
Do I
think?
know what's up with him?
No, you have no
Or
clue.
I have no clue.
No
So
clue.
I will look at kind of Max and go,
Max,
I get the
what was that?
weirdest kind of energy. I don't know.
Mr. Suit, do you see that happen?
Yeah, I think I was trying to have another handshaky nice meeting with another one of the dukes, and I've just like bailed out of this conversation. I'm staring across the room. I embarrass myself.
Inner conflict?
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go sorrow.
Okay.
It's an 8.
So you can kind of flee out to the like outdoors, like out the party door. You can mark sinking, or you can mark the mood that you rolled with.
I can't flee and make a scene at a party, and I don't think this is weird enough to go sinking. So I'll
Oh,
go with mood.
sinking is about leaning into your worst self.
Okay, yeah. We'll go with that as I think Suit is like staring over the Duke's shoulders. Let's see. Let's say this is Bane Becky.
Okay.
Staring over her shoulders at Marrow, and is like in the process of turning his hips. You know, he's about to walk away, make his excuse to her, when he just like feels his face turn back to her and smile broader and make more inane small talk, as he is just like these instincts are taking over and he can't bring himself to break this social protocol.
Absolutely. Mark sinking. When you mark your fifth sinking, you'll get a sunken move.
Woo!
Nothing bad. Well, there is some bad, but you also get a sunken move.
Only rewards.
Rewards. Aldo, where are we going to see you as the clock is striking midnight here?
Yeah, I think I'm on the roof. The roof has no mirrors.
Okay. So there are a
Just
few of you
people, no mirrors.
wildlings that have kind of snuck out to head upstairs to get up there. Um, I definitely besides uh, Allie, who else is up there with you think?
Um, oh, maybe nameless.
Okay, yeah.
And probably Sainted Coils is like lurking somewhere.
Okay. Nameless, Regal Doe, like the classic set of all of that. So yeah, we'll see you climb up there as it gets on that. And Lydia, where are we going to see you when midnight hits?
I am like with Kentori and Wolf, and we are gonna sing the heck out of that song. So
Absolutely. And we will see, the camera goes, we see the giant illuminated neon moon pie comes down as everybody does the 10, 9, 8, and that will come down, and the singing starts, as that we can hear outside the fireworks, of course, for New Year's as we're leading into 1999, and the lights will go out, and it just goes plummeting into black. And in the black, those of you who are in the building will see this wash of like blue light, and you can make out the various dukes there kind of standing as that light comes out, and you will see that get this right, that Faustina Knox is there, and standing next to her is a yokai who you've seen them before, but you've not been introduced. You don't know who they are. They have a black veil on. Their skin is kind of a greenish. They have a reddened eye, and the rest of their form is kind of a black gossamer around. And they will say, "This is the time where it ends. We have 1 year, and it all comes down. All the courts will be undone. All will be destroyed. Everything changes. Everything goes wrong. It all must change. It all must change. You have 1 year until the end." And then the lights go out. And that's what we'll take up next time.
Upbeat.
So, end of session XP. Let's look at that situational moves. We do some questions at the end of session. To do that, you get XP for rolling. Anytime you've rolled Inner Turmoil, you get XP for that. You also get XP on a miss if anyone missed. At the end of the session, you do get to clear a checked barks from one of your moods. So it does clear out one if you have one marked. Marrow, did you express essentially your yokai nature, your yourself as a yokai, you think, tonight?
I think I definitely was giving off my sorrowful bear remains sort of character.
Mm-hmm. So mark an XP for that. Did you express your humanity?
I think I did in the desire for being around people, even though clearly that's makes him uncomfortable. I think having that want of company is very human.
Yeah. Let's give you an XP for that. And you interacted at least once with your entanglement/rival. So that's another XP.
Yes.
Aldo, did you express your yokai, your other self?
Yeah, I think so.
Howling at the moon. You and
Yeah.
your friends are not going to have any idea what happened down there.
I know, right?
So it'd be great. Did you express your humanity?
Yeah, I think in that conversation where I'm like, yeah, sure, shiny thing, sure, that's a good idea.
Yes,
that,
okay.
that was definitely a human reaction.
Absolutely. And you definitely touched on your entanglements and rivals. So let's have you mark an XP. So that's 3 total for those 3 questions. Mr. Suit, do you express your yokai nature?
Yeah, I think so. He was
Yeah.
very like party person.
And then I think at the end, your sort of falling out is a little bit of your humanity there. So I'll give you a point for that. And definitely entanglements and rivals. So three total points there. And Lily/Lydia,
Yeah.
did you express your yokai nature?
Oh, I think so. I think that she's so indecisive about what she wants to be when she grows up. She's even got 2 first names. So
Yes.
that's
Did you express your humanity?
I think moon pies are the
Moon pies are the most
culmination of
human of
humanity.
foods.
Yes.
So and you definitely interacted with your entanglement/rival. So 3 points on that.
Great.
I would like to do a quick stars and wishes. Let me talk about what we're going to do next time. Next time we'll cut to like after the party back at your house. We'll set up where that is. We'll figure out what that is. You know, that 2, 3 in the morning after a big party and something weird happened at the end of the party, and we got to figure it out. So we'll kind of start with that. We'll also talk about short-term and long-term goals so that we can kind of figure out like what elements we want to bring in. But I would definitely want today to just kind of a chance to people to run with NPCs and mix with those. So that's what we're going to be doing next time. Mara, may I start with you?
Sure. Stars. This was a ton of fun. It was a chance to kind of showcase a bunch of NPCs. We got personality and voice and a little relationship with it. It's good to see that. Of those, I really liked the Duke. My Duke I liked a lot. But I liked the Duke of Sons. I thought they were really interesting and fun to listen to. Uh, my beloved Max was fantastic, so I liked that. We're quite the emo pair, the two of us together. And I think we've started feeling these characters a little bit. We started getting that first inkling of what they're going to be like, and I think there's a wide variety, and we're playing some different styles that maybe are normal, and I think that's pretty cool. So very excited. And as for wishes, um, I'm looking forward to seeing the sort of things we get called in on, or how I want to, even more than what the mystery is going to be. I'm excited to see why and how our group is called to do things.
Mm-hmm.
What is the expectation of us?
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Aldo.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I like these stars to everybody who added pictures to the NPCs tab, because this is a fascinatingly weird um group of people here. So that's awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed getting a sense of these characters. The um stars to Sherry for being just completely leaning into manic pixie dream girl. Like can't even decide what her first name is. That's awesome.
Whichever one you like better. Yeah.
That's perfect. um and the argument about the moon pies, if they're good or not, that was also entertaining, because they were kind of the opposite of what I would have expected from the characters.
Yeah.
Like, who knew? Marrow just really loves moon pies. It's great.
He's all about nostalgia.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Totally get it. And yeah, I hmm. No, I pretty much just echo the wishes. I'm
Okay.
interested in seeing like where this is going, and like how this all works, and how our PCs are relevant, or what their relevance is in like the wider, courts. And so
Absolutely.
that's all.
I want to call. I love the detail that you added to Bayman, like with adding on to those characters. Everybody threw in some great stuff. I love that because there's this idea of Japan, of yokai being objects that have come to life from times, and it suddenly made me realize, oh, he's a boat, like he is actually a kind of an old boat, from the harbor that has been made into a person kind of thing. So I really loved that. Mr. Suit.
Yeah, this was neat. I love a big like NPC filled mixer for us to get to know each other and our characters at. It was neat to see people interacting in like different different situations from little scenelet to scenelet. Sherry, Hurricane Smythe's suit was just great. Like just the description of you sweeping into the party and the ridiculousness with the moon pies. It was like it was an episode of Dharma and Greg. It was so over the top and crazy. And she's just delightful. Tyler, similarly, Marrow's just like full emo cocoon of uncomfortableness was wonderful. I really enjoyed the way that you interacted with Max and that sort of like uncomfortable physicality that wasn't uncomfortable between the two of you, but like just, you know, Marrow reacting to his discomfort sort of thing. And I also like that Marrow just freely realizes and acknowledges the toxic nature of Max and like apologizes him to other people without even being asked. It's just such a great trait to bring into that.
Well, and everyone knows cats are jerks, so
Yeah.
you know.
And Ethan, I really enjoyed Aldo going off with his friends to howl on the roof. But also, I forget what it was exactly, but there was something like from smell that you brought in, and I like that idea of interacting with the world in other ways than just the normal human, like sight and sometimes touch and some hearing, but then the rest of it's just trash sort of senses. I like that animalistic nature bringing in. And also just in general, I really enjoyed how we started building up lore for everything, like assigning these different like gatherings, ritual holidays to different courts, and talking about the last gathering and the things to look forward to at the next one, sort of thing. Like that was all very cool and felt like very piece by piece in a neat way. Wishes, it doesn't necessarily have to be next session, but I am looking forward to us getting into the shallows or even fully into the undertow and seeing what that world is like, both visually and thematically.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And Smythe suit.
I loved this. I think Morrow was top-notch sad boy. And I can completely understand why Lily has a crush on him and can't even figure out what the words are. Because why? But he's just so sweet and he's so real. And she didn't know that was what she was interested in. And now this is also complicated. What's the world so complicated? I don't know why the world is so complicated, but we'll figure it out. I'll win in the end. That's how it always is. That's my motto. That's how it always is. Anyway, so I really like Suit. Suit is the dangerous one of the four of us. He's also the one that'll get us into the biggest trouble. So yeah. So who he's dangerous to is hard to tell. I think maybe might be the best way to put that. And I think that our coyote friend Aldo, he's kind of like what do you say? He's the one that has the most common sense between the four of us. So yeah, I think that you're going to be the one that has to save us, Aldo. I'm just telling you that right now. It is eminently clear that you are the one that sees what's going on. So for the forest for the trees, or trees for the forest, whichever one's important in the moment.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to, I like the little bits of place that we got in. I think for me, getting that feel of the city, of what's important around there, I kind of hope that we get to define like where we kind of live or what our neighborhoods like, or what our places like. If we're in the same place or the same neighborhood or, same apartment block or something, I don't know, whatever. But I'm looking forward to that. I really like these courts. They're just weird enough. And then the NPCs all seem, I don't know, a little bit more explicit in their social agenda. I mean, their actual agenda is still hidden, but the social agenda is a little bit more out there and clear, at least for the ones that are operating at our level. So I like that. That's fun to see. All kinds of couplings and mixings and all that sort of thing. Very fun. And I still have to figure out how to get my vengeance.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you all so much for our kind of good setup here. I am going to stop the recording.